Hello, everybody. We are here with Chris Austermann from Expressions in Bloom. Chris has a really cool product and uh, does some very awesome art stuff. So, Chris, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and about Expressions in Bloom and what you do?
All right. Well, thank you, Carl. I do appreciate you taking the time to do this and getting my story out there. So I started Expressions in Bloom almost over 10 years ago. It was a concept that I had. I kind of fell into it. The way it started was I was out in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, with some buddies skiing, and we took a break in between, and we went snowmobiling in Yellowstone National Park in the summer, in the winter, obviously snowmobiling. Um, the day after, and I had just gotten my brand new. For the first time, I had a real Nikon, single lens reflex digital camera, and I was taking all kinds of photos. And the next day, one of the guys that was on the trip, he was not in our group. He was there was 8 of us total, and he was the father of this family of 4. And he was looking at my photos, and he was marveling at them, and asked me to show him some other images that I had taken besides just the ones in Yellowstone. And he stopped me on a poppy flower that I had taken a photo of in my backyard, just a random orange poppy. And he was just singing my praises over the quality of that image, telling me that this was his wife's favorite flower. And he had just spent a ridiculous amount of money on an 8 by 10 framed image for his wife for her birthday because she loves poppies. And he said, you should really sell your photos. These are great. And I thanked him, but I was in the middle of my insurance career, which I did for over 20 years. And he said, no, really, you should do this. You can set up a website, and I think you could make a business out of this. He said, take a look at my wife's website. Maybe you'll get some ideas. So I did, and I saw what she was selling, which was very high-end baby gifts. And many of her items were birthstones. And we're all familiar with birthstones. They can be expensive, rubies and emeralds and sapphires. And so I thought it was kind of ridiculous to spend, thousands of dollars literally on a birthstone for a newborn baby, but that was her market. But the idea clicked, and I said, well, she's selling birthstones. He loves my flowers. I wonder if there's a correlation between birth flowers. And so I Googled it, and sure enough, there is. And I'd never heard of it, but there is this concept. And it goes back, after doing my research, excuse me, I realized it goes back to the Greeks and Romans when they used flowers to convey meaning, and it continued to evolve to the Victorian age when it was considered inappropriate for men to actually verbalize their affection towards a woman, so they used the language of flowers to
Wow.
express how they felt. And it's continued to evolve. So there's really no one person or one event that's credited with the creation or concept of birth month flowers, but it's still what I'm finding all these years later, that it's a relatively unknown concept. But this was back actually in 2009 when this trip occurred, and I was very caught up in my insurance career, and I really didn't have time to pursue it. But during the growing season and when flowers were blooming, I started to take a lot of photographs of these flowers, thinking maybe one day I'll do something with this. And I dabbled in it when I had some more time in 2012, 2013, but then my insurance career, got the better of me, and I really didn't have time to pursue it. And then during COVID, as many of us did, I kind of reevaluated what's the direction in my working career. And I was starting to really lose the passion with my insurance and really gain passion with the photography. And I didn't want another year to go by where I said, I should really get this business going. I didn't want to turn, retirement age and have regrets for not really pursuing this business. So I rebranded my logo and during COVID, and then in 2022, at the end of the year, I gave them literally 4 months notice, saying in 2023 I'm stepping down. I don't want to be a manager anymore, and I want to really pursue my passion. So 2023 was my year to really kind of get this business to fruition. So what do I do with birth month flowers? Well, first of all, my opinion is that it can be a marketable concept because number one, everybody's got a birthday. Everybody's got and a month that they can relate to, whether it's an anniversary, whether it's the month that they closed on a house, whether it's the birth of a child, a landmark month. So I started creating individual prints, and when I was test marketing this concept back with craft fairs, people loved the idea. They had never seen it before with the photographic images with the story that 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 explains the symbolism behind the flower. And people often asked me if I had a calendar. So after I started printing the individual images, I came up with a calendar. And then from there, I created bookmarks and note cards, which I believe, having been in sales, being in the insurance industry, a handwritten note goes a long way, whether it's to a loved one to thank them for a gift, or to a prospect thanking them for an appointment, or to a new client thanking them for their business, or just to show appreciation. And um, and I can guarantee you that your clients or your family members will have never received a card such as this, with a photograph and the story behind it. So 2023 was really my year to kind of lay the foundation with my website and different products. And this is my year. And I've been selling and marketing as well. But I'm real excited because within the next couple of weeks, I'm going to relaunch my website to include other merchandise items
Yeah.
like mugs and mouse pads, tote bags, even yoga mats. So anything you can think of that you can put your birth month flower on, we'll be able to print it. So,
That's Yeah. So basically, you're expanding your product line to almost unlimited. I mean, I'm sure the website has a lot of stuff that is built in, but I'm sure they're always increasing their products as well that you can choose. And can you print? So if I just wanted a shot on, say, I think I looked on your website. There's like different mediums like glass and metal, some of the newer concepts
yeah,
of
that
things.
will be available by the end of February. My goal is to have it done for the Connecticut Flower Show, which begins on February 22nd at the Hartford Convention Center. So I'm going to have a booth there, and I'll have some samples. But my website should be up and running by then for people to order, a mug or a print on metal or a print on canvas. So a lot more options that will be available.
And the flower show, very excited. My mother and I just got our tickets. We'll be there. Um, we will be there on Saturday. We're braving the Saturday afternoon crowd. So,
Good
uh,
luck.
yeah, thank you. I'll come and stop in, and of course,
Hopefully it's a big crowd. I'm sure it will be, weather permitting.
yeah, oh yeah. I think last time we went on a Saturday too, it was a big crowd, which was awesome. I mean, it's a really good time, and anybody who's watching this, if you haven't been to the Connecticut Flower Show, you should absolutely go. And of course, visit the Expressions in Bloom booth. What will you have there? Will you have stuff to purchase, or like your note cards and bookmarks and things like that?
Book booth number 345, and I'm going to have metal prints hanging on the side walls. I'm going to have the note cards. I'm going to have bookmarks. I'm going to have deeply discounted 2024 calendars, which will probably be being the end of February, probably the last time that people will want to purchase those. But they'll still have 10 months left of the year to enjoy the calendar, and I'll have some samples of different merchandise items like mugs, phone cases, tote bags. Maybe I'll do a yoga mat or two. So things that I never even realized you can print photographs on. But it's kind of exciting. The technology as that evolves, and you brought up different mediums, glass, wood. I'm not quite sure how many different types of medium I'm going to want to print on right
Right.
now. I don't use too many people with too many options, but I do want to have enough product because not everybody is ready or has the space to hang something on the wall. Um, So, or they can be expensive when you start printing large format with frames or metal or glass. It can get pricey, but the note cards that I offer with a box of 12, because when you buy a box, you get one of every month, comes out to less than $3 a piece.
Uh,
You can't yes and get a birthday card for less than $5 these days. So
I think it's really cool too because it's not just the birth flower. Like before I met you, I had no idea that a birth flower was even a thing. But
mhm.
kind of after meeting, I'm like, oh, so there's a curiosity. I'm like, well, what's my flower, right? And what's my wife's flower? What's my mother's flower? And what I also like, and actually, I'm gonna go over to your website here, is that uh, the write throughs on the actual flowers themselves are well is really cool. So I'm a December 27th birth, and holly is known to deter evil spirits and bring happiness into the home. It's a wonderful symbol for the holiday season and as a gift for those that are born in December. Um, I mean, that's just like a really nice thing, especially too if you're sending out a note card or uh, buying somebody a gift, like you mentioned that person who did a print for the poppy, for his wife, to just be able to go to your website and try to and do that on demand and get that with your beautiful photos because your photos are gorgeous.
Thank you.
I think is a really unique product and I think will resonate with a lot of people. So I think that's awesome. One other thing I wanted to kind of discuss on your website is you also, it looks like, have some fundraising opportunities. Can you describe a
Sure.
little about that?
Yeah, thanks for asking about that. I'm real excited about this opportunity because, there are so many schools obviously out there and nonprofit organizations that are always looking to raise money. And the whole idea behind the fundraiser is that well, idea number one is the calendar. So people can take the calendar, customize their logo on the front, put their mission and vision statement on the back of the calendar. What won't change is the top half of the calendar because that has the month and the meaning of the month. But on the bottom half, an organization can really put whatever they want, whatever meaningful dates that they may have that are applicable to their organization, a message that they might want to deliver. Right now, in my what I call my standard calendar, I have monthly tips every month that alternate between home improvement tips, gardening tips, and mindfulness tips. But somebody can have anything that they want, whatever message they might want to convey, either to their customers or to their workforce. So these can be great uh, client appreciation gifts. They can be great employee appreciation gifts. I also am looking to use these calendars as a just a corporate uh, giveaway.
Yeah.
We've all gotten those cheap calendars, no disrespect, but it
Yeah.
costs a factor. But we've all gotten free calendars from the hardware store, right? And in that calendar, or the insurance agency, where they have ads throughout the calendar for somebody to convey their message. Well, if somebody has a calendar hanging on the wall, and I have always had a wall calendar. That's just something that I've always had. I've always enjoyed photographs. I just like looking at the month as a whole. Yes, I do definitely keep my day-to-day activities on my phone, but I like to look at, when's the next full moon? Where's the next major holiday in a month view? And when somebody does that, they're looking at it pretty much every day. So that's 365 days of a message that can be conveyed to whoever your audience might be.
Yeah.
So one thing that I would love to see is more organizations using this as a gifting strategy. I think a lot of companies miss the mark in many cases in terms of what they give to their clients, because let's face it, I worked for a Fortune 500 insurance company for over 20 years. Does somebody really want a polo shirt or a golf shirt with my company's logo on it? Or do they want, a golf towel with my company's logo on it, or even golf balls? Yes, they're nice and people are going to use them. but what's the meaning behind it? There's really nothing. It's just promotion by the person that gave
Right.
you that gift. But what if, as an organization, you gave somebody something that was really meaningful to them? So if you take the time to find out what month they were born in, or maybe what month they were married in, or maybe what month they, got hired at a company, and give them that monthly flower, that's going to mean something a lot more, even if it's just a note card or a bookmark.
Absolutely. I think you're dead on. And I think a lot of corporate businesses, when we look for closing gifts or things like that, um, there's companies that give out cutting boards, right, with their logo on it. Like I wouldn't
Yeah.
use a cutting board with my logo on it. It's just very, it's not authentic. It's just kind of, promote, like you said, promotional. So if you can make it more personal and explain the reason why, like, oh, hey, you know, I know you were born in February, or it's your home anniversary. It's your house anniversary, and here's the anniversary, the birth flower of that, which could be really good in real estate, or really any sort of momentous occasion, right? Birth of a child or anything like that you said.
Great.
It's just really cool. So and I think too, from a corporate aspect, yes, if it was a hospital giving out calendars to their employees, great stocking stuff, a lot of great things to use. Not only that, but I could see schools from a fundraising opportunity, doing doing all different sorts of things. It's awesome. It's a great.
Yeah, my mother spent 6 years in a senior living facility, and we, if you know any have any idea what the cost is behind that,
Yeah.
month after month, year after year, for an organization like that to spend, $20 to give, not even to give their employees a calendar at the end of every year, or a birthday card. I had a one municipality in the state bought, 10 boxes of note cards for me, because their practice has been for years to send a birthday card to all of their employees when they're, all the employees of the town, when their birthday comes up. Well, they're always scrambling, and somebody's got to run down to, oh, it's so and so's birthday. Let's go to CVS and just get a generic, Hallmark card. But now they've got, a stack of these cards, in house, ready to go for the next person's birthday. And
Not
it
only
means something.
Yeah, not only that, but if you are a business owner and operator, my recommendation is thank you cards and note cards are all the rage after, are an important way to connect with that person who you met with or something like that. But I'm not a huge fan of an embossed like my logo on it. I'd much rather be like a very kind of personal thing, and a nice flower or something. Hey, it was great meeting you. So all business owners should be doing that, and sending out. I tell my agents multiple times a week, you should be sending out thank you cards, because it's the handwritten note, the power of the handwritten note, especially in today's society and today's economy with Facebook and all these social medias and everything. The power of the handwritten note, in my opinion, has never been stronger.
Well,
Um,
I can't agree with you more. I mean, for years, I've been a sales manager, again, in the insurance industry, and I'm constantly, reminding, our sales force to not only, send a thank you note, but everybody just defaults to email. Hey, type it up, it's easy, send, it's done. But when the times that we did send those cards, again, it was an embossed corporate logo card, but it was still a handwritten note. And the next time we went in, they remembered it, and we've got comments more often than
yeah,
not. They said, "Hey, thank you for that handwritten note. I wish more people did that."
yeah,
And so, a
I
long way.
completely agree, and I enjoy getting them, receiving them. I enjoy writing them. It's awesome. Well, Chris, is there anything else that you'd like to leave us with? We know that you'll be at the flower show showing some of your goods. You're revamping your website to offer all these new products. Your current website is very nice, so you can just order prints and different things. How do people contact you? Should they follow you on Facebook? What's the best way?
Yeah. So I'll be the first to admit, social media has not been my strength over the years, but I'm changing. That's my New Year's resolution this year, is to
Hmm.
be much more proactive with social media. So I do have a Facebook and Instagram business page. It's Shop Expressions in Bloom. I'm going to be setting up a YouTube channel, because I neglected to talk about how I kind of evolved into this. But when I got out of college, I kind of bypassed that whole corporate advertising route, which I was going to get into in New York City, and I started my own video production company along with photography because I was the high school yearbook photographer. I was my college yearbook photographer. When I was in college, they just implemented a video production studio, so I was able to take advantage of that. The content that I have also, I think, lends itself perfectly to social media. So
Yeah,
I encourage everybody to follow me on Instagram and Facebook, Shop Expressions in Bloom. And I'm going to be doing a lot more posting, a lot more engagement. I'm going to run contests. I'm going to have giveaways. I'm going to do surveys where, for the month of February, okay, do you like this purple iris or do you like this yellow iris? And, you know, have contests of who can guess a certain type of flower. So it'll be a lot more engaging, and I'm getting myself kind of mentally prepared to dive into the whole social media world,
it's a
which I
struggle.
believe
It's a
is
struggle.
powerful.
Yeah, but it's good. It's definitely good to do. And you're right. Your content definitely lends itself. Beautiful photos, Instagram and Facebook posts and things like that. Sometimes I would. I have photos of houses and stuff that I can post, but
Yeah.
sometimes I wish it was a little bit more artistic and a little bit nicer. So
Yeah. Well, and one final thing I will say is that I don't just take pictures of flowers. I've been fortunate in my career, whether I've won trips to Hawaii or I've been able to, do a photography workshop in Costa Rica, or as I mentioned, Yellowstone. And my son and I took a trip from out. We drove out west and we did Yellowstone in the summer because I'd been there in the winter twice. We went up to Glacier National Park. So I do have other beautiful landscape images. I try to get up early, take pictures of sunrises and sunsets. So there's going to be a lot more landscapes and nature photography in addition to the birth month flowers on my website. So
so
a lot
expand.
of.
Yeah,
Mhm.
expand the product line even more, different images, different, because it's like you've got the products and then you've got the images that go on the product. So basically, it's a never-ending combination of stuff you do.
Yeah.
Very
So
cool. Excellent. Well, thank you, Chris. I definitely appreciate your time. Go to Shop Expressions in Bloom on Facebook and Instagram, and shopexpressionsinbloom.com. And of course, go to the Connecticut Flower Show. That's in 2024, February 22nd, 23rd, 24th, and 25th.
22nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th at, 4 days, Thursday to Sunday.
Yeah, it should be a great time. I'll see you up there. And thanks everybody for tuning in. We'll talk
All
to you
right.
later.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.